Dedicated to bringing more local news, sport, information and music to Melbourne South East. 97.7 FM.
An Hour of Power and Leadership is sponsored by the Ebony Rose Group and Nigel Foote, Business Mentor. For all your business mentoring advice, call Nigel on 0410 559 726. Call the Ebony Rose Group for financial planning advice on 8532 0000.
The views and ideas expressed on this show are strictly of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas of the listeners.
Are you ready for an hour of power and leadership? Get ready to be inspired, motivated, and build on being an effective communicator. Let's turn up the motivation, inspiration, and the power with your host and coach, and help me welcome Ryan Gomez.
Well, top of the morning to you all, and welcome back to 97.7 FM, KC Radio, for an hour of power and leadership with me, Ryan Gomez. It's an absolute privilege and a plum-pleasing pleasure to be speaking to you this morning, Saturday morning. It's windy outside. I'm looking out at Cranbourne Studios. It's set for an absolute blast of a weekend, isn't it? So no matter what you're doing, please stay safe. That's the most important thing, and that's the key. Well, if you're tuning in, it's wondering who's this on radio. This is Ryan Gomez on 97.7 FM, KC Radio, for an hour of power and leadership, which we do every Saturday morning here. Well, grab yourself a cup of coffee and have a sit down. If you've been listening this morning and been up right early this morning listening to some great music from Cindy and Daz there, it's fantastic, isn't it? I was driving into the studios this morning listening to the music, and I'm going, wow, that really revved my morning up to get me pumped up for this segment. Well, in saying that, it's great to have all our national and international listeners tuning in. So to all our international listeners, it's great to have you on board and listening in every Saturday morning. I know this is odd times of the morning all over the globe, but it's great to have this listenership listening in all parts of the globe. As you know, you can download my podcast, which is on either you can get onto my Facebook page, which is www.facebook.com/Ryan Gomez Coaching. Once again, it's www.facebook.com/Ryan Gomez Coaching. And we are streaming live on the web, www.kcradio.com.au. Yes, it is www.kcradio.com.au. And if you want to jump on my website, which is www.ryan-gomez.com, and there you go. You can download my podcast from there in the next 24 hours or so. And it's great to have a lot of feedback coming in on the segment in regards to the segment and what we do on the segment. Like I said, I endeavor to get some coaches and guests and professionals in their field of work. And everything's about self-development on this program. Everything's about, getting that message out there. So if you find a nugget or two from it, take it, run it with it, use it in your life. And that is the key. That is the absolute key. It's about taking action about your goals. I've coming to the studio and I was thinking, what is it? What is that one thing that individuals need to be able to get out and make things happen? And what is it that starts everything? What is that fire that starts everything? And it's a lot of you have have been searching for that quick fix problem, isn't it? Some sort of magic pill, that course or a product or that would make you happy. And, I'm right, isn't it? And of course I am. I believe I'm right, because otherwise this self-development industry would have not been such a huge multi-billion-dollar industry, if I can put it that way. And guess what? They know exactly what you need. It's the best product out there in the market, guaranteed to work and almost sold out, so quick that you have to buy it right now. It's an offer today. You get all the stuff out there. If you want to fix your life, if you want to get to where you want to, there's products out there. There's commercials. There's advertisement. There's all sorts of things that will drag you in and draw you in to be able to get that quick fix, to be able to fix your life and move on and get things happening and get successful. So there's and what is it? And the bestseller that and what people endeavor to get out there is the message out there is this message of hope. The message of hope. Hope drives you to attend seminars, drives you to attend workshops, buy all sorts of programs, ebooks, audio programs, and the lot, So only because it promises that your life will be better. You'll get to where you want to. You'll achieve goals. So just buy, attend, and join this product, and you'll get slim, you'll get beautiful, you'll get rich, you'll get successful, you'll get famous. And you've heard this thousands and thousands and thousands of times, isn't it? and you believe it because this is what people want to hear. This is what people want to want a quick fix to be able to fix everything in life. So they go out there, get a pill for something. They go out there, they read and get stuff that will get them to take action. But ultimately, how many of you go out there and buy different variances of this thing called hope? How many of you do that? Until you realize that the only weak link in this process, or the only weak link in this process of the change, if I want to put it that way, is no one but you. No one but you. There's no secret of losing weight or attaining riches, if I can put it that way. There's no shortage of information on how you need to reach your goals. There's a lot of information there on how to reach your goals. The only shortage there is, if I can put it that way, is the ability to be able to stay focused, to stick to your dreams and achieve what you want to achieve. And the only thing that stops you, if I can put it that way again, that stops you from achieving that or going through that process is you. That mental roadblock is you, no one else. So you can go out there and buy all the products you want. You can go out there for all the seminars you want. You can go out there for all the workshops. Get all the get-rich-quick schemes. You can do everything, but ultimately, it comes down to you. There's no other way out. It's about you taking action, about you, being present in the moment and saying, hey, you know what? I want to be able to be persistent. I want to be able to be consistent. I want to be able to be focused. So as much as it's great to get out there and get information, and I'm not saying good, I don't have no challenge with people going out there and gaining information from sources, from great people, from successful people. And this is what we do on the segment, is the endeavor to get people to come in, individuals to come in and give their wealth of knowledge and share their wealth of knowledge, if I can put it that way, so that you can take a nugget or two and use it and run with it in your life. But that is not enough. The only thing that, again, stops you from taking the next step is yourself. There's nothing else. It's yourself. And I spoke about this on time and time on this program. Even last week, I spent the whole segment talking about mindset, but talking about this mental block, of talking about building yourself up and taking the next step. And what is it? Some of the keys to be able to do that. Ultimately, again, the quick fix. There's no quick fix. You've got to be able to say, okay, I've got the information from these individuals. This is what I want to do. This is where I want to go. That's the first step. Second step is then from making that decision to then taking action. Taking action, being persistent, being consistent, being focused and committed on what is it that you want to achieve. And again, learning from successful people. So if you make a mistake, go back to the table, go back to the drawing board and learn from it and say, what can I learn from that mistake? What can I learn from that? I still want to be able to achieve my goal. It's to constantly keep yourself inspired and motivated. And no one else can do that. Like I said, no speaker can stand up in front of on a stage and motivate someone. Motivation is an action. Action you have to perform. Again, that comes from inspiration. Stay on track with me. This is the absolute key. I mean, this is, you got up this morning, you probably switched on the TV or listened to radio, and all those commercials out there, this is what's going to fix your life. This is what's going to happen. And you take this, and this is going to take this. There's a pill to make you slim, to do this and do that. But at the end of the day, it comes down to you taking action about your goals. It's about you making a decision. Yes, living in that in this thing called hope. Hope is a great motivation, if I can put it that way. It's a great motivation. A lot of you would disagree with this, a lot of you agree with this, but I'm saying to you, hope is a great motivation. But in saying that, you not need to take action also about it. Being consistent, learning from people, being persistent, and being focused. And that is the ultimate key. There's no quick fix. The worst thing you can do is go out there and get a pill to slim down. And what do? A week later, stop taking that. And you don't take action about it. Together with the pill you take to be able to be slim is to be able to then take action and do some exercise and do other things that to be able to get you out there. If you know what I mean. Well, I can go on and on, but at the end of the day, you got the message. You got the message. Nothing stops you. The only thing that stops you from achieving that goal and to taking action and taking the next step and making a decision is no one else but you. You tune into 97.7 FM KC Radio on an hour of power and leadership with me, Ryan Gomez. It's always a privilege and a pleasure speaking to you on the Saturday morning. We are streaming live on the web, that is www.kcradio.com.au, and my Facebook page is www.facebook.com/Ryan Gomez Coaching. Get on board, give us a like, leave a comment. That'll be fabulous. We've got a great guest also speaking to us after about 8:30 this morning, so you have to stay tuned in. We have a special guest, Yuta Clipswitch, who's a life coach and a great friend of mine and doing a lot of work out there and helping individuals. So we'll be speaking to her about, again, taking action. She'll tell us some of the steps and give us some of her key steps to be able to say, okay, what are some of the things you need to do to take action and make things happen for yourself? Find a nugget or two, take it, run with it, and use it in your life. That's what I say. You tune into 97.7 FM KC Radio. Let's go to a short break. Actually, let's go to a track and we'll be right back after this. Great track. I haven't played this for a while, so a bit of Walk of Life from Dire Straits. You're with Ryan Gomez on An Hour of Power and Leadership.
Community Media Matters. Audiences talk back.
It's a groundbreaking study into exactly why more than 7.5 million Australians tune into community radio each month.
The results are clear. Community radio offers listeners different sounds and real voices.
And the local news and information missing from mainstream media.
And the chance to get involved.
To find out more about community broadcasting and the Community Media Matters report, visit cbonline.org.au.
And support your local community station because community media matters.
G'day, I'm Matthew Guy, Leader of the State Opposition, and you've been listening to Casey Radio 97.7 FM.
With better music, news, information and sport, there really is something for everyone. 97.7 FM, Casey Radio, the sound of the Southeast.
Welcome back to 97.7 FM KC Radio. You're with Ryan Gomez on an hour of power and leadership. It's been an absolute privilege speaking to you on this Saturday morning. We are streaming live on the web, that is www.kcradio.com.au. And you can also jump on my Facebook page, which is www.facebook.com/Ryan Gomez Coaching. You can also get on my website. That's a lot of information here. Get on my website, which is www.ryan-gomez.com. And in the next 24 hours or so, we'll endeavor to get a podcast up there as well. You can download the podcast, listen to it on the way to work, or whatever you're doing, to your business, listening to it on the weekend. So grab yourself a cup of coffee. Yes, like I said, after about 8:30 this morning, we're speaking to a special guest, Yuta Klipswis, who is a life coach and a mentor. Speaking to her after about 8:30, a little after 8:30 this morning. But I just want to touch on what I was saying this morning and going through the whole thing of hope and having hope. Yes, absolutely, but taking action. At the end of the day, it's about harnessing that power of decision, about making a decision, isn't it? That is the absolute key, again, coming back. And these are some real gold nuggets I'm giving you. Take it, run with it. And if you heard this time and time again, it's nothing different I talk about on this segment. It's a lot of the stuff you've heard time and time again. But do you take action about it? Do you make a decision? See, there's a few quick steps I want to go through, and I know I don't have much time in order to harness that power of decision about making decisions in life. You got to remember that the true power of making a decision is a tool itself, and you can use this in any moment to change your entire life. The minute you make a new decision, you set in motion a new cause, an effect, a direction, and a destination for your life. That's when you literally begin to change your life, and the moment of your life changes as soon as you make a new decision, if I can put it that way. Remember that when you start being overwhelmed and when you start feeling that you haven't made the right choices and some of the things that you need to do, what is it that that's when you need to stop and say, hey, hang on, I need to make a decision. This is where I need to decide. And remember, a real decision is measured by the fact that you have taken some action. If there's no action, you haven't truly decided. I hope you're on track with me. And always give this analogy of if I can remember, three cats sitting on a fence. There's three cats sitting on a fence. Two decide to jump off. How many cats are now sitting on a fence? So I'll say it again. Three cats sitting on a fence, right? If two decide to jump off, how many cats are now sitting on a fence? It's not tricky. There's still three cats sitting on the fence. So deciding to jump off and taking the leap and making a decision are two different things. So a lot of us sit back and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to make a decision at some point in time and constantly pondering on it. So making a decision and just sitting back and waiting to make the decision, two different things. So you need to make the decision and take the leap. And realize that the hardest step in achieving anything is making a true commitment. A true commitment to making a decision. So carrying out your commitment is often much easier than actually making the decision itself, isn't it? So make your decisions and make it quick. And always say make it quick. So don't labor on it forever and keep questioning yourself what's going to happen, going into the thought process. And I've spoke about it last week, and I said a lot. Something I've learned is your mind or every time you take that step back and you start thinking too deeply about things, your mind is designed to protect you. And if your mind says, hey, you know what, Ryan, you're taking time to make this decision, and you're thinking about, is it going to be the right choice? Your mind is going to be the latter and say, hey, you know what, do not even take the next step, because your mind is designed to protect you. So when you think about making a decision, make it quick. Don't labor on it forever. And a lot of studies have shown in the past that some of the most successful people that makes decisions make it rapidly because they are clear on their values and what is it that they really want in their lives. And the same studies show that they are slow to change the decision, if at all. And if you look on the other hand, people who usually fail make decisions slowly and change their minds quickly all the time, and bouncing back and forth on whether it is the right decision to be made. Should I make that decision? Always sitting on the fence. You just have to decide. Make a decision and take a leap. And realize that decision making is a kind of act in itself, if I can put it that way. So, you know that you truly made a decision when action starts to flow, when you start to see some results. Hey, you know what, if it's the wrong results, you then turn back and say, hey, you know what, I've made a decision, yes, but I'm not getting the results I need. Let's take a step back. Let's look at it, go back to the drawing board, make another decision, and learn from it. And that is the key. And this is what successful people do out there. Is you think successful people are always making right decisions? 99% of the time they're making the wrong decisions. But they learn from that and then learn to make the right decisions and learn to achieve their goals. But at the end of the day, do not leave the scene without making a decision. You've got to make a decision. And make decisions, and make it often. I always say that. The more decisions you make, the better you're going to be at making them. Muscles get stronger when you start to make the decisions. If you know what I mean, it's just like going to the gym, right? And you are exercising your muscles. You're constantly doing that. You make your muscles stronger. Your muscles get stronger. Your body gets stronger. So exactly right. So that's what happens when you start making decisions. Your mind starts making some great decisions, and your muscles get stronger. It's like reading books, constantly, getting that information. And it's no point in just I've seen people with a library of books in their houses, but they have all this information. They have all this information in them. Are they then taking the next step of then putting that into action? I don't know. That's a question you need to ask yourself. So it's no point of having all this wealth of knowledge, this library of knowledge, and not taking action on it, not making some decisions. You've got to unleash that power, and unleash that power right now. And that's what I'm talking about. It's about making a decision instead of putting it off and procrastinating over it. Let me tell you, you won't believe the energy and the excitement you'll create in your life. And when you start making those decisions, you say, hey, you know what? I didn't realize it was, the task I set out to achieve wasn't that easy. I mean, I thought it was going to be even harder than what I thought. And another step is taking from that is, as much as you're making decisions and making it often, you got to learn from the decisions. So I'm giving you some key steps here. I'm learning from some successful people and constantly get to learn from these people and see what they've done, and successful people, what they've done and how they've gone about making. So learn from the decisions. There's no way around it. Absolutely no way around it. And I spoke about shortcuts this morning. You're going to, if I can put it this way, on radio, if you're going to screw up no matter what. You're going to screw up and get, but at the end of the day, instead of beating yourself up and beating yourself to the ground, learn something from it. Ask yourself what is good about this, and what was some of the challenges you had through making that decisions. What are some of the key things you've learned through making the decisions, and what I've learned, what is from failures itself. And it's an unbelievable gift in disguise when your mind starts to go to work on this. And when you start making decisions, you go from one decision to another, and you're constantly making some decisions, making some choices. Your life starts to change. Things start to work. Whether it be in your career, whether it be in your business, whether it be, as opposed to just sitting out there and going, hey, life is bad, things are never going to work for me. You just about get off that lounge, and you need to start making some decisions. Rather than focus on the short-term setbacks, choose and learn from the lessons that you've learned from the past and the decisions you've made. That will save you a lot of money and time and a lot of pain. And guess what? If you stick to it constantly, you are going to succeed. You're going to succeed. And then at the end of the day, the next step is to stay focused and stay committed. I can speak about on staying focused and staying committed for the next couple of hours, actually, to be honest. But in saying that, it is the key. As much as you're learning to make those decisions and making those decisions, if I can get my words right, and some absolute tongue twisters here, but in making those decisions right, you've got to stay committed. You've got to stay committed to that plan, committed to your goal, stay focused on it. And every time you start to lose track and every time you start to feel down, go back to those 5 people I keep talking about, 5 people that motivate you constantly, who give you that energy and encourage you to keep moving forward. And get back on track. Get back on track. Don't derail yourself. No, don't derail yourself, because you are going to, like I said, at the end of the day, screw up at some point in time. You're going to screw up. Hey, there's no way around it, and there's no shortcuts. I spoke about this morning. But you need to, at the end of the day, make some decisions and make some choices and move forward and ultimately learn from it and stay committed and stay focused to your goal. And at the end of it all, you've got to enjoy making those decisions. Enjoy making those decisions. It's no halfway through. It's about going through some of these key steps I talk about. Key steps. Enjoy making those decisions. You must know that in every moment you make a decision, or a decision you make can change that course of your life forever. Think about it. The very next person you sit next to, you stand behind, or you sit next to on an airplane or a train, the very next phone call you make or you receive, the very next movie you see, the next book you read, the next page you turn, the next, it's that one single thing that will cause the floodgates to open, and all of these things can fall in place if you make some decisions. If you really want to live a life of passion, if you really want to live a life of true purpose, of achieving things, you ultimately need to develop that attitude and character about yourself of making decisions, making those decisions. And it's those small decisions you make that ultimately shape your life powerfully. And some of the small decisions I made 8-9 years ago that shaped my life powerfully to be able to doing what I'm doing right now. And I've only started, let's put it that way. Some of the things that powerfully shaped my life and some of the small decisions I made was, I decided to get out there with that low self-esteem mind of mine and learn from some confident people, learn from people of achieving some great things. It was not easy. It was not easy to be able to have conversations one-on-one with an individual. But it was the toughest thing for me 8-9 years ago. But I wanted to get out of that, that low self-esteem, low confidence mindset and say, you know what, I need to change things about myself. So I started making some small decisions, very, very small, tiny decisions, if you want to put it that way. I went out to seminars, went out to some great seminars, motivational seminars, leadership seminars, met people, met leaders, sat back, watched these guys, what they do, and constantly do that, and I still do that. Took notes, started reading some self-development books, started to move around people that were positive, people who would fortify you, would give you that courage to get you going. Joining some of these organizations out there that help you build this confidence. And finally, after 3 to 4 years, my mindset started to change. Now, I didn't realize that change because when I started making those decisions about started doing the small things in life, all of a sudden my life started to change. I started making some better decisions. I started making some bigger decisions. I started making some bolder decisions. Let's put it this way, I started making some bigger choices, even though, like I said, 80-90% of the time were the wrong choices, were the wrong decisions I was making. But I kept on doing what I wanted to do. I went back to the drawing board, learned from it, but I constantly kept reading books, constantly moved around positive people. And I constantly get to do that. So much so I started moving around. I speak to audiences around the world today. I speak to, doing this radio segment, TV segment, and a lot more what I do out there. Help people, coach people, help people, guide them, mentor them. Have my own business, have this. So it took that little things I had to do to get out of that, that low self-esteem of mine, to make those small decisions, to ultimately start making some bigger decisions in life. And it's changed my life forever. It's changed the course of my life. The decisions I made 10 years ago, small decisions, which were sometimes, a lot of times were the wrong choices, the wrong decisions, but I stuck to it. And it's got me to where I am. And I always say that the choices you make today in life, or your choices you made 5 years ago, has got you to where you are today in life. So where you are today in life is the choices you made 5 years ago, if I can put it that way. It's not to confuse you, yeah? But simple things I talk about. And I believe in doing the simple things in life. I don't want to complicate life. It's not about complicated life. You go out there and people give you this 10 steps to success, and this is what you do. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Great, take all that in. But at the end of the day, it's the simple things in life that you do will get you to a more powerful place. And some of the key decisions you make, and making those decisions, will get you to what the success you need in life. So, get used to making some decisions. Get used to taking the next step. And that is the most important thing. I always say. So as much as I say, hope is a great thing. It'll get you started. You've got to keep on it, because at the end of the day, it is you that will stop you from achieving what you want in life. No one else. It's you. It's you. I'll say it again. It's you that will stop you from achieving what you want, not anyone else. And at the end of the day, once you start saying, hey, you know what, this is what I want to do, make some decisions and move forward. It has to just be the small decisions, the little decisions that will powerfully shape your life. You're tuned into 97.7 FM KC Radio for an hour of power and leadership with me, Ryan Gomez. We are streaming live on the web, that is www.kcradio.com.au. And my Facebook page is www.facebook.com/Ryan Gomez Coaching. We have a special guest in a little while or so. We'll be speaking to her, Yuta Klipswich, who's a life coach and a mentor. And some of the keys she'll give you as well, and some of the things she's doing out there to achieve and build on her success. So stay listening in. If you find a nugget or two, take it, run with it, use it in your life. I always say that. Let's go to a short break and we'll be right back after this. You're tuned into 97.7 FM. Ryan Gomez, an hour of power and leadership.
Scott Anderson of Anderson Property Specialists has a lifetime of local knowledge about real estate and farming on the Bass Coast. The area is booming but still very affordable, with buyers wanting the idyllic country coastal lifestyle and the bigger building blocks available, all just 40 minutes down the highway from Cranbourne. Call Scott on 0409 785 846 to discuss your move to the coast. Anderson Property Specialists, the Bass Coast experts. Station sponsor.
Australia has 37,000 kilometres of coastline. The Customs hotline number is 1800 06 1800. What have they got in common? Well, patrolling a coastline that big is a huge task. We have to stop people trying to bring drugs in or smuggle wildlife out. You know your local area best, so if you see or hear anything that looks suspicious, call the Customs hotline on 1800 06 1800 and help protect Australia's borders.
Hello listeners, if you like your blues loud, tune in to Bullfrog Blues every Monday from 3 till 6 p.m. on 3SER 97.7 FM with Tony Brady, and you can listen for the very latest in Australian and overseas blues mixed with the best of blues rock back to the 60s. So lock it in Monday starting at 3 p.m. for Bullfrog Blues.
97.7 FM, KC Radio.
There you have a bit, one of my all-time favorites, Shakin' Stevens. Listen to the radio. Hope you're listening into the radio on 97.7 FM, KC Radio with me, Ryan Gomez. An hour of power and leadership. It's an absolute privilege and a pleasure speaking to you on this Saturday morning. It's windy outside. I'm looking out the studios. And pretty dull day. Well, whatever you're doing, stay safe. That's the most important thing. And enjoy your weekend with your family and friends. And that's the key. That is the absolute key. Now, to the next part of our segment, we have a very special guest we're going to be speaking to. A very good friend of mine. We have known Yuta for the last, 5-6 years or more. And Yuta is a mentor and a coach, and is got a very, very unique mentoring and coaching style. And she helps a lot of individuals out there and making it out there, and building on her success. So without further ado, please help me welcome Yuta Klipswitz. Yuta, welcome to An Hour of Power and Leadership.
Hi, good morning, Ryan. How are you?
Good. Hope I've got your name right there. I mean, it's been a tongue twister this morning. Yuta, it's great having you on the program. Thank you for taking the time, first of all, coming and speaking to us in your busy day and busy weekend you've got planned.
Yes, a little bit, yes.
Fantastic. Let's start off. Let's kick off by, you've been on the program before. Let's kick off by just telling our listeners who Yuta is and what does Yuta do?
Yes. So the name of my company is called Higher Learning with Yuta, and I'm, as you said, a mentor and coach, and I help people to become a better version of themselves. So coaching and mentoring is all about, finding what you're passionate about, because some people don't even know what they're passionate about. They're stuck.
Yes.
And then I help them to achieve them with strategies and tools. But as you said, I have a very unique style. I'm also a certified MBIT coach, which means multiple brain integration technique, which is it's scientifically proven that we have 3 brains, and it's a heart brain, the head brain, and the gut brain. And this we know since 2,500 years from ancient wisdom. They just sort of, scientifically proven it. So if you get stuck or you don't know where you want to go, and it's sometimes it's because your head wants to go there, your heart wants to go there, and your gut is actually a protection for you. That's so I use hypnosis as well. So I had, for instance, a client who was not clear about her business, and she needs clarity. And I had 2 sessions with her, and we had to do a little bit of inner child work the second time. But, after 2 sessions, she was totally clear where she wanted to go, and there was no resistance to her action. So it's very powerful.
Absolutely. Look, that's fantastic work you do out there. And I just want to touch on that a little bit. Now, you talk about the 3 brains. Let's actually kick off the segment by talking a little bit about that, Yuta. So if you want to just explain that a little more in detail. I mean, I know we don't have much time, but
I
so
can
that
make
our
it
listeners
short.
know.
All of your brains has a different task, so to speak. Your heart is there for your emotions and for your values.
Yes.
Your brain is there, obviously, to think and analyze and make up stories. Your gut is there to self-protection and for mobilization. So what that means, for instance, is if you want to lose weight and you're passionate about it and you know what to do, but your gut thinks, oh, no, this is not safe, it will always sabotage what you're doing. So if you have all 3 in line, you move forward much faster and without resistance. Or, for instance, I gave a leadership little workshop at the NAB once. And leadership, even when you go in leadership, like the old style of your head leadership and your gut, results,
yes,
doesn't work anymore. If they say that you are an incomplete leader if you don't, involve your heart. So if you, for instance, have a mission statement which is not written by your heart, you don't have staff involvement. It's because there's no values there. So So if all three brains are on board, you have better results without, less resistance.
That's really interesting. And so, how does one get those three brains? I mean, I asked the tough questions, but it's more to get our listeners to get an understanding about what we're talking about this morning. So, how does one get into that mode where you get all the three brains to function together?
Yes, I mean it helps at the beginning if you have a coach who helps you with it to see how the method works. But you can't do it by yourself. But basically, to listen to your brain, you have to actually stand still and you be still, and a little bit like meditation. You have to listen, and that's sort of, I think, one of people's problems. They just rush around, and they don't, they hustle and bustle, and I want to get here and there,
and not stopping and thinking about,
more productive, you have to take time to be still. And I mean, there's a lot of mindfulness going around at the moment. So, but yeah, I'm writing a book at the moment, and one of the chapters is hurry up and slow down. So.
Okay, so how do you hurry up and slow down? That's interesting.
Well, you hurry up and slow down.
So you're working on a new book. Look, we'll touch on that a little later. Absolutely,
Yeah.
I want to speak a little bit about that, and that's really interesting. You were talking about it yesterday to me, and it looks like a fabulous book that is out at some point in time. But we'll talk about that now. So you're saying, okay, so we need to stop and think, and that is the absolute key. And I know the hustle and bustle of life, we get carried away, and this is where you're saying coaching and mentoring is absolute key, isn't it, to be able to do that?
Well, the thing is with coaching and mentoring, I mean, nobody needs fixing, like everybody's whole, and everybody gets results.
Yeah.
But the question is, do you get the results you actually want? So with coaching and mentoring, it's a little, like you want to go somewhere else, but you have blinkers on. So how can you go somewhere else when you have blinkers on? And with coaching and mentoring, it expands your vision. It gives you tools.
Some sort of clarity.
When you're in a mindset, it helps you to change the mindset and gives you tools to change. And I mean, as you said, you talked a lot of today about action and decisions. And, it's better to have imperfect actions than no actions. And people have to think, I have to be perfect first. Like when you learn to play the piano, you do not start to learn the piano when you're perfect. You have to, and another thing is confidence. People say, I don't have any confidence to do ABC. Well, it's interesting because confidence is actually not a prerequisite of doing anything. It is a reward of doing anything.
Okay.
So if you cannot get confidence by doing nothing. So if you do things, even as you said, little things, you will get confidence and evidence that you can do it. So the confidence is a reward.
Interesting, very interesting. I like that. And you did a whole speech on confidence. I heard just a couple of weeks ago, which is, and how do you build your confidence, and what are some of the things? Basically, what we're talking about in the segment this morning as well is taking those little steps and making some decisions. Now, in order to do that, we need also clarity in our life, and sometimes we can make some wrong decisions. And in order to get that clarity, that is where coaching is absolutely helpful to be able to put you on path to get that clarity, isn't it?
Well, the thing is, I sometimes say I'm a tour guide with a torch. So, I cannot do it fully, but I can put everybody has the resources within themselves to change their lives, everybody. But, sometimes you just don't have the clarity. And I will help, to put the torch on the little things which might stop you. Or, by working with me, you will get realization where you stopped, or what you can do, or what you're passionate about. It's just like an inquiry, and it's like I cannot, when I work with people, I cannot tell you what you will get out of it, because it's up to you what you find within yourself. It's all there. So,
absolutely.
But sometimes people, because as I said, they hustle and bustle, they just don't hear the inner voice. They don't find what you're passionate about. They don't, like we are so enmeshed in everything.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's a guide. You're just guiding someone along and helping them to find their purpose and find the purpose in life. Let's put it that way. That's and you talk about upgrading yourself. Now let's actually kick off by we got a few minutes, so we can talk a little bit about you're authoring a book. I heard you authoring a book, and it's going to be an absolute success by what some of the things I hear. And you don't want to give too much out at this point in stage, but what's so where are you with this at this point in time?
Pardon?
You're authoring a book. I've heard you're authoring a book. Yes.
And it's called "Who is Driving Your Bleep Bleep Bus?" So
okay.
With the
sounds
bus.
Interesting.
But yeah, so who is driving your effing bus? But the thing is, I'm very passionate about take ownership of your life. You are like there's the people who blame or complain a lot, but claim your ownership of your life. You are the only person who has responsibility how your life is working. Yes, you might be in a situation which is not perfect, but as you said, that's decisions you made in the past. But every day is a new slate. So you can recreate your life, and you are the person who thinks your thoughts. You are the person who speaks your words. You are the person who does your actions. So nobody else. So when you find that you are responsible for your life, and that's why I said, who's driving your bus? Is society driving your bus? Your kids, your spouse, society. It's make decisions where what you value, where you want to be, what is your best version, what version do you want to become? Because I'm not the same version I was 10 years ago. Do you want to upgrade?
Yes.
I'm just sitting here at a park, and it's 12 degrees, and it's windy, and there were a lot of people who were running. They must have a race or something. So yeah. Yes. So are you the one who is sitting still in bed and pressing the snooze button, or doing something?
Yes, absolutely, and so much of it's what we were talking about this morning, and what I was talking about on this morning's segment is it's ultimately it comes down to you and how you want your life to change, and no one else can do that for you, but only you can do that. The great analogy you put. Yeah, tell me.
But that is the beautiful. That's the gem. That's you see, like one of my chapters is what you can do, change, and what can you not change. So the only thing you can change is yourself. So it's liberating, because you don't have to change other people. They have to change themselves. So let them have their own experience, but work on yourself. And the bestest version you become, the more you change the world. Like people think, if things this would change. Well, change starts within yourself. So the more you change yourself, and the better you get. That is a gift to the world, to change the world to the better.
Absolutely, making absolute sense, Jutta. Jutta, now your book, you have a goal to get that out in the near future, and we're looking forward to that book actually. So to be, it sounds very interesting, and just the name, the title itself has captured my attention.
Yes, like some people might be very offensive, but
at the end of the day, and that's great. We're really looking forward to that book. Now, in saying that, we're saying you can also, like I said, you can jump. Jutta, you also working closely with us at Let Coaching. That is www.letcoaching.net, and you can find Jutta on that site. Now, in saying that, it's just going through a whole new, getting a new facelift, the website. So bear with us. But in saying that, Utah, if individuals want to jump on your website, you've got a website for yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, it's called Higher Learning with Utah, and Utah is JUTTA.com.au. So Higher Learning with Utah, JUTTA.com.au.
There you have it. You can jump on Utah's website and connect with her, and some great insights to some of the things. Now, in saying that, lastly, let me ask you, if it's the one thing you want to leave our listeners with and take away from this morning, Saturday morning, what would that be, Utah?
One thing I have one big belief in, and it is what you focus on gets bigger and expands. What you focus on gives energy. So, I really would ask the listeners to question, what are you focusing on? If you're focusing always on the negative and what you don't have, it will get bigger and bigger, and that's what you get in your life.
Yes.
But, if you start looking at what you have and appreciate the things, and, everybody has little things they can appreciate, that just look at it all, what you can change and what you can do. And as you said, it can be little things. So really be aware what you put your focus on, because your attention and your focus is actually currency for your life. It will expand. Everything will expand what you put your attention and focus on.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tad. It's been great speaking to you. And once again, that website, you want to read it out so people can jump on board?
Yes, it's higherlearningwithutah.com.au.
Thank you, Utah. Thank you for being on the program. And look, enjoy your Saturday and weekend.
Yes, you too. Thank you very much.
There you have it, Utah Clipswitch on the program. 97.7 FM, KC Radio, an hour of power and leadership with me, Ryan Gomez. It's been an absolute privilege and a pleasure speaking to you this morning, a Saturday morning. So whatever you're doing out there this weekend, please stay safe and enjoy your family, friends. Have an absolute blast. We are streaming live on the web. Once again, that is www.kcradio.com.au. You can also jump on my Facebook page, which is www.facebook.com/Ryan Gomez Coaching. That is www.facebook.com/Ryan Gomez Coaching. Now, in order to also get some information about Utah, you can also jump on our website, which is www.letcoaching. That is letcoaching.net. And LET Coaching, we have some great mentors and coaches on that, with the business itself. So if you want to jump on board and get in touch with one of our mentors, get in touch with one of our coaches. We've got professional coaches, public speaking coaches, we've got business coaches, life coaches, you name it, the lot. It's a one-stop shop. Self-development shop, if I can put it that way. Well, we're running out of time, and the producer says, come on, Ryan, we got to get out of here. Okay, all right. That's it for me, and it's great having you aboard. Tune in until next Saturday. I'll see you right over the top. This is Ryan Gomez signing out for now.